Okay, I think we are live. Woohoo.
Awesome. How
All
fun.
right. So excited to be here with Jamie Glassman Sherman. We both were chatting about what we do and helping hundreds, if not thousands of people around the world and how we do it. We have completely different perspectives. I'm a registered nurse. She's a personal trainer and fitness instructor, and we both just have a shared passion in how we help our clients. So we're going to kind of do this really cool interview and interview each other. And I get to go first and interview Jamie.
Awesome.
So, Jamie, let me pull up my questions. Will you share with us kind of a little bit about your background, how, why, when you got into the fitness industry?
Yes. So I used to be a first grade teacher, and I did that like for my whole life. After school, I went to school for it and graduated, and I became a teacher for about 6 years. And then I felt really burnt out and have always loved all aspects of fitness. I've been an athlete my whole life. And so I started Cycle, started riding there, and just kind of fell in love with that company and everything that I was doing there. And so I eventually became an instructor. So I've been an instructor there for about almost 5 years, I guess now. And while I was doing that, I also became a Barry's instructor. I got my personal training certification because I just wanted to kind of expand on how much I loved this fitness industry and just more of what I could do to help others. So I was doing personal training and instructing for about 2 years. And then I felt like I needed more. I needed a way to make more income. I needed a way to expand on just outside of the studio and like my personal clients that were right there in my space. And I just was kind of looking for a way to, a different avenue on how I could make a bigger impact and also a bigger income. And so I got started with coaching after about a year of saying no to it, a year of being completely against this company and what I didn't know, and just being against, I guess, online coaching. So after about a year of saying no to it, I eventually dived in because I was just like, let's give this a shot, right? And once I started like learning about what these programs were, it really all aligned with everything that I studied and everything that I've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years.
That's so amazing. I love it. And I love that it all started with kind of your passion to like really help people,
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, so looking back, you've been a coach now for 2 years, right? Which is
Yeah.
amazing. So was there like a moment or kind of a day where you were like, okay, I know like I've had these thoughts, like I've been against this Beachbody company, for this long, but I'm just gonna dive in. I'm gonna try it. Was there something like what shifted for you?
I think for me, it came down to just like looking towards my future and like the vision I had for my life. And I started to think like, okay, I'm training a lot of clients. I'm working with a lot of clients, and that's exhausting me and my time. And same thing with teaching in my teaching schedule. I was teaching like 20 classes a week. And so my time was not existent. Like I didn't have any time for myself or anything like that. So I started to think about, okay, how can I still do what I love, working with these clients, working with people, but also kind of protecting my time and my energy. And so I think I just had that turning point of like, shit, I can't be an instructor. Like, am I going to be an instructor when I'm 40 and moving my body this way and teaching 20 classes? Probably not going to happen. And I just was kind of like, looking for other things, and I was so against this, but I just figured like, let me give this a shot and see, because I always feel like, what's the worst that could happen? And for me, it was like, if I tried it and I hated it, okay, I'm back in the exact same spot, right? I'm still teaching my classes. I'm still having all my personal training clients. But if it was exactly what I wanted to do, then it could be, way bigger. So
Yeah, I totally love that vision of where we're going. It's the same for me. It resonated so deeply with me.
yeah.
Um, so you made the shift. You're a new coach, and you're trying to like figure this out. Like, what does this mean? All of us in the beginning, we know absolutely nothing. Like what this whole Beachbody thing is, what we have to offer. What did that kind of look like for you in the beginning as a new Beachbody coach and still a personal trainer, fitness instructor? Did you find you were able to offer more to your clients?
Yeah, like I feel like that is the biggest misconception here is like it has to be one or the other. And for me, I just felt like this was so much more value of what I could offer to my existing clients that I already had, my writers that I wasn't working with outside of the studio, and people all over the country that I wasn't able to actually connect with one and face to face. And so, the biggest thing for me as a personal trainer that I was so frustrated with was that clients would come to me, once or twice a week for an hour and we'd get a great workout in, but what else is happening outside? Because it's so important with, nutrition and obviously fitness outside of, that hour, that it was frustrating if I didn't know what they were doing, if I couldn't have a way to hold them more accountable besides maybe texting them every single couple hours and finding out what they're eating and seeing, how their nutrition looked. And so for me, this just took out the busy work of like trying to create certain individual meal plans for all these people and only working with an X amount of clients of people that were right there. And this was just like this kind of, I guess, like this platter of nutrition and workouts that I could supplement with my clients and give to them. And it was like working smarter, not harder for me. It was just a no-brainer.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Okay, so in just 2 years, which from an entrepreneur perspective or a business owner perspective is like the baby time in your business. Like usually business owners are in debt, like thousands, tens of thousands of dollars still at the 2 year mark. So the 2 year mark for you, how has making this decision, taking this leap of faith with partnering with Beachbody in your passion to help people in fitness, how has it impacted your life?
I mean, it's crazy for me to even think about saying this in like a minute or two, but because it's impacted my life in so many ways. But the biggest thing is income. Like I have been able, and the impact that I've been able to make and the people I've been able to help, like I have been able to help hundreds and hundreds more people than I have been helping in the last 4 years, because I can connect with such a wider range of people all over the country, in Canada, in the UK. And I've also just been able to obviously make more money and do it in a way that's smarter. I'm not spending hours driving everywhere and taking these clients for an hour and then the next hour. And it was like, now I can just work with so many more clients in one, provide them with the tools and the resources that they need to be successful, and hold them accountable in the exact way that it aligns with everything I've always done, right? Helping them with their fitness, giving them workouts that they can do, nutrition that is super simple, and just basically holistic eating, right? Like a well-balanced nutrition plan that is something that I've always, preached for my clients.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, last question.
Yes.
Because I know that there are other fitness professionals out there who are going to be watching this, and I know they probably have the same misconceptions and the same doubts and fears that you probably had coming into this. So as a fitness professional who's been very successful partnering with this $1.3 billion health and fitness company known as Beachbody, what is your best advice for them if they have that same vision of like, I want financial abundance, I want freedom to either stay home with my kids or travel with my family, but my job like is not setting me up for that? What would be your best advice for them?
I mean, the travel thing, that was like number one for me. And I feel like people, that's what we all want, right? To be able to just kind of travel around and live the life that we want to live, right? And have the time that we want to have that's sacred to us. And I could never travel because I was so tied down to this specific schedule. And so if you have any interest in, if you're thinking about coaching or if you're interested in just learning more, it's like, why wouldn't you try it, right? If you are, for me, I was like watching all of these people be successful with this. I was like, oh, good for her, good for her. And it was like, I finally was like, okay, why couldn't I do that? And I think my biggest hesitation was like, I didn't want to be this Beachbody coach. I had my own brand. I was doing my own thing. I had my own, fitness brand, but this was just a way that I could work so much smarter, help so many more people, and make an incredible income that allowed me to travel or take time off while still creating this financial freedom and just allowing me to set myself up for the future that I want and I wanted. So I always, like, my biggest piece of advice is like, why not? You have nothing to lose, absolutely nothing. Because if you try it and for whatever reason, it isn't what you want to be doing, you're in the exact same place that you are right now, right? There's no contract. There's nothing that's like locking you in. You're not, none of that. So it's always like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you give this a shot and see if taking a step forward could literally change your entire life and the trajectory of your life the way that it did for me? So I kind of just like, why not?
I think that's so awesome. And I think that so many people are afraid that partnering Beachbody is going to dilute their brand or like make them seem less credible. But especially like with your example, I feel like it's strengthened it tremendously,
Because what are we all trying to do? We're trying to help people. If you're in this fitness space, you're probably trying to make an impact and help others. And so I have really just helped so many more people than I ever thought would be possible. So that's all I'm trying to do. That's only strengthen my brand and my business.
I love it. Thank you.
Okay, so now we get to interview you. So Jessica is actually on the opposite side of this health and wellness space. She's a registered nurse, and she's kind of always had this holistic health approach to nutrition and fitness and everything. So I'm excited to kind of interview her because it's a different perspective from my end. So questions for you. So I guess just like, how did you get started? And I know you were a nurse before. Talk a little bit about being a nurse, why you made this transition, why you even started coaching in the first place, and how you got started in this.
Yeah. So to kind of make sense for me, I guess it starts on why I actually became a nurse. And I will like sum it up as quickly as possible. But basically on my 11th birthday, my dad and I were hit by a drunk driver, and he lost his life due to a medical malpractice case. I was in a coma and on life support for a week and completely smashed my left leg, broke it. And I had 5 different surgeries in order to save it. Thankfully, I've got gnarly scars that I can use them now. But I forgot to tell you that before.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Wow.
Minor detail. But what I actually recognize is I knew when I was laying in a hospital bed for a year and I couldn't walk that I wanted to go into the medical field of some sort because I wanted to prevent this from happening to somebody else as much as I could. Both with my dad being killed by a medical malpractice case, like that was preventable, right? And the drunk driver that hit us, again, preventable. So I recognize that prevention was huge for me. If I could prevent people from suffering, that's the career that I want to be in. And I knew that as a young girl. And it just made sense to me. I knew I was going to nursing school. And so I went to nursing school as soon as I graduated, got my bachelor's in nursing. And through the stress of nursing school, I actually developed several different health issues with my hormones and digestive stuff being way out of balance. That's what sparked me researching, studying Chinese medicine, holistic health, all these nutritional modalities. And it just made sense to me. Decade, nursing school. And so I went to nursing school.
Sorry, I just didn't.
No, you're fine. So over the course of a decade, really, I learned so much about the human body and became even more passionate about sharing that knowledge that isn't so readily available of how to heal your body with as many people as possible. So that's kind of how I got into nursing, how I got into being a certified holistic health coach, completed more certifications, had my own practice. I did workshops and all of that because I was really passionate about it. But it's very hard to make a good living as a holistic health coach. I'll just be honest with you. And in nursing, I wasn't fulfilling my calling because of just first of all, I was working in a prison. So not super fulfilling, but in any field of nursing, I didn't feel fulfilled. Like I wasn't sharing that wisdom and that knowledge that I had learned. And I started coaching about 3.5 years ago after I had my first son. And I saw this random chick's abs on the internet. And I reached out to her and I was like, I want your abs. I don't know who you are. You're in Boston. I'm in California. But I want the discount of this coaching thing. I don't want anything to do with it because I'm busy working 40 to 60 hours in a prison and I have a new baby. And so that's really how it started for me. And what shifted literally in a few days was she told me, if you have anyone who wants to do this with you, here's how you would get them signed up since you have a coach account. And, we'll go from there. And so naturally, I was like, mom, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, best friend, we're doing this together. You're signing up with a coach membership because you get a discount. Like, we all want that. And that was that's literally how I started coaching.
Wow.
It catapulted me when we started talking about vision. And similarly to what you had shared, she asked me, like, if you could have anything, if your life could be anywhere 1 year from now and then 5 years from now, if failure is not on the table, where would you want your life to be? And I realized, well, I wouldn't be in a prison. I would be helping more people, and I'd be home with my son. And then I saw this avenue with the platform and business model of Beachbody to do just that, and never stopped.
Wow. I love that. Oh, I didn't even know like half of that. That is really incredible. I love like that you've just been able to take all of your knowledge and what you were doing before and just, use this platform to really just like help your business and obviously help you stay home with your babies. Like that's incredible. So what were your hesitations before? I know we have so many people that come to us and they're so hesitant, they're fearful, they don't think they can be successful, or maybe they just think that they're above it, right? Because I know that I kind of felt like that as well. So what were your hesitations and like what shifted for you?
So I was absolutely one of those people. I will be completely honest. I 100% thought I was better than Beachbody because we look at this company as like a network marketing MLM company without even knowing anything about it. And that was me. I was afraid that it was going to dilute my brand, that was going to make me feel less credible. I paid $100,000 for my nursing degree and I know so much about nutrition. There's no way this company knows as much as I do or can teach it as well as I can, but I was wrong. Like I've been so humbled because all of those misconceptions, or that I couldn't do it because I'm too busy and I have kids and I'm working full time. Those were all doubts and fears in my head, but I kind of like put it to the side and was like, I'm just going to help people. And that's how I started. And that's kind of what's driven me forward, along with learning about entrepreneurship along the way.
Wow. So can you talk a little bit about from like the nutritional standpoint and the supplements and all that, like how did that align exactly with what you've studied and researched and, learned about for the last however many years?
Yeah. So the nutritional program, there's a lot of diets out there that preach horrible information about sugar-free stuff and diet everything and chemicals. And I love that Beachbody's approach is really, it's intentional nutrition, which is even better than clean eating because it teaches you the right amounts of portions for your goals. So I love that. I love the science behind it, but really Shakeology has become, which is our like wellness formula that we drink every day, has become a huge passion of mine. And it's something that most people think is just another protein shake. I've actually did a 34-page research project on it where I looked up every single ingredient and I matched it to different clinical trials and medical research.
Wow.
And it's just mind-boggling how much crazy power is in one scoop of a powder a day that we can get. It's so much more than just a protein shake. I used to spend $300 to $400 a month on the same ingredients, buying them separately. And so I just love the complete holistic approach to intentional nutrition, supplementation, because we live in a toxic, unfortunately, nutrient deprived world and we're all stressed out. We need that support. I love the fitness that we can do from home. I love the mindset coaching, the accountability, the positive community. It just all came together and we all need that in our lives.
100%. I love that. So I guess last question is, how has it changed your life? I mean, I know you're a full-time coach now, but how has it changed, obviously, your life as a whole? But what would you say to people who are just starting, who maybe don't have any intention of leaving their job, or I guess how that changed your life, but also a different way that someone could kind of use this as a supplementation for income or something like that?
Absolutely. Well, I'll be honest with you. I never ever saw myself as a stay-at-home or work from home mom. Like there's nothing against women who always want to be that. It just was not me. Like I've always been the over-involved, overworking. I love just being with people and out and working, and worked really hard for my degree and all of that. But when you have kids, it kind of changes everything. Like I wanted to be the one to raise them. I didn't know I would want that. And so in the beginning, I couldn't quit my nursing job. And so this was just a supplement to our income, but it paid for our mortgage, or it paid for groceries, or it paid for diapers, in the beginning. And so those little things are so amazing, how this supplemental income of just from helping people, it's like almost like a referral program in the beginning. You're just referring people to things that work. That's it. And kind of supporting them along the way. As far as how it's changed our lives, like in my marriage, I'm a better parent. I believe in myself more. Like I can't even touch on all the areas because it's so vast. And now we dream bigger than we ever knew was possible. And my husband's in law enforcement and I had a nursing job. Those are very stable, steady incomes. And we are that now with where we're going is like, that's the bottom. There's so much more life to be lived than just working a job that your whole heart's not in. So it's
100%.
changed everything for us.
Oh, it's so, so cool. And I love that we just come from such different backgrounds, but have seen this as just a vehicle to help more people and really live out this type of dream life that we envision for ourselves. So it's so cool to hear your story. That's very different from mine.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. And maybe we should give people our contact info. Do you want to, if they want to get in touch with you?
So my Instagram is Jglass, J and then Glass. And my email is jmglassman0@gmail.com. So you can message me, email me, and would love to chat if you are here from my IG or Facebook.
Awesome.
And then for you?
And yeah, so my Instagram is health_patriot, or you can email me at thehealthpatriot@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. How'd we do?